Okay, here's the second attempt to get a good live stream going. I've turned off my other document syncing stuff. Yeah, that seems to have done the trick. All right. I don't have the best bandwidth out here in rural Ontario. Governments make lots of promises that we will get bandwidth, and yet we don't. But that's not the topic of this video. The topic of this video is Grasshopper on Reclaimed Cloud. Doing it live because I like to live dangerously. There's plenty of possibilities for failure here still, although I did run a successful test of most of it yesterday. I'm going to be documenting this live as I go. So I'm going to be doing Stephen Follows instructions, but instead of following the instructions, I'll be creating the instructions. So here's the screen that I'm working from, and so here's where I'll be documenting them, the instructions. Here we go. If you're looking for this document, it's on Bitly. Well, it's on Google Docs, but there's a link to Bitly, and that link is here. Move it over so you can see it. There we go. https://bit.ly/3 capital H 0 lowercase y, uppercase S, lowercase q. I don't know of any better way to get it to you than where I did. Well, copy this. I wonder if I can put it in the chat area. Yeah. Okay. I've put it in the YouTube chat area as well for my, 0 viewers. Oh, here we go. Here's the analytics. Yeah, we have 0 viewers at the moment. So that's fine. I'm used to it. So it's late in the day. Kind of tired. So this is the time of day when I start making mistakes. So, but I thought I'd do it anyways, just to see if I could. And if I can, great. And then later on, I'll probably produce a nice short, snappy version. But I wanted to record this attempt just because. All right. Let's not waste any more of our time. Let's get to it. So, first step, step 1. You want to create a domain. Now that's out of scope for this video. So create a domain and register it somewhere. You can use Internet, you can use Cloudflare. There are various places you can register your domain, and once you've got it, then you have to go to a technical place to create what are called the A records. So, and that's step number 2. Create the A record. So, when you register your domain, you're going to point to where you create the A record. So, and again, this part is out of scope for this video. So let's assume that you can do that. If you can't do that, find a video that shows it. Maybe I'll see if I can't put one in the instructions here. So now, to create the A record, there's different places you could go. I'll use 2 right now. Cloudflare is one. And I started using this on the recommendation of Jim Groom because that's what he's using. So I can just log in, and here I have my websites, and this is where I have the information about Leftish located. So here's looking for all my information. I don't know. I'll manage domain. There we go. Is that it? No. DNS settings. Is that it? Yeah, there we go. So these are the A records for leftish.media. But the domain I'm going to be using, so I'll just go back here and add that link. Do it on Cloudflare. Or now I do it on Reclaim. I also use Reclaim Cloud. Not Reclaim Cloud. Just Reclaim Hosting for the rest of my A records. Following what Jim said, I'll probably move all of this to Cloudflare, so I've got it centralized. But that's not where I have it right now. So I'm going to go to Reclaim. Now this is the main Reclaim site, so reclaimhosting.com. All right, and so I'll log in here, and so, or do it on Reclaim Hosting. And the nice thing about Reclaim Hosting is if you run into problems, they'll help you. So it's HTTPS. Doing 3 things at once here, right? Making a video, writing some documentation, and doing some technical work. Oh, jeez, come on. Oh, it's a semicolon? No, that's right. That should be working. Oh, there's only one T in there. There we go. And of course, the danger of doing more than one thing at a time is everything is harder. But that's okay because I still have 0 viewers, so what? All right. So on Reclaim Hosting, then, so I've logged in. I go to Cpanel, go to my account, and then Zone Editor. So go to Cpanel, Zone Editor. All right. And in here, I'm going to find, and this is the domain that I'm going to be working with, fallacies.ca. So here we go. That's where I'll be making my A record. But before that, okay, before I actually make that record, there we go. I actually need to create the environment. So create the cloud environment. So, which is actually pretty straightforward. So I'm going to go to Reclaim Cloud. The address is reclaim.cloud. So let's do that. So I'm going to go to Reclaim Cloud and log in. Suppose that's obvious, but okay, here we are. And we're just waiting a couple of seconds for this to come up. All right. So yours, if you're just new, this might all be empty. As you can see, I've got various things on the go. Here's the Leftish media that you saw in Cloudflare. Here's a test that I ran. Here's a running instance of Ghost, which I don't use for anything. This is a test which isn't doing anything, even though it's consuming quite a few resources. But you know, this is costing me, with all of this running, this is costing me maybe $1 a day, maybe as much as $2 a day. But not much more than that. So the pricing's pretty good, at least for me. I mean, if you're living on $5 a day, less good, and I hope someone would support you if you're in that sort of situation. Okay, so what do I want to do? I want to create a new environment, so I'm going to click New Environment. So let's document that. Click New Environment. So here it is. And what I'm really interested in right now is this stuff on the left-hand side. Okay. Oh, there's that SSL. I wonder if that would just work all by itself out of, I don't know. Well, I didn't try using that. So I'm gonna do it the way I did it before. Okay. So I need three things. I need a balancing thing, I need an application server, and I need an SQL. So let me just capture an image here. And I'll put that, let's save that image. Okay. So Grasshopper Docker 1, GD1. And I'll put that in here. So add the image, upload from computer, images, GD1. Okay, so I'm putting these images in just so that you have an idea of what's going on. All right, so next, now, click on Balancing. And select Nginx. Nginx. And I usually choose the latest version. So let's do that. So I'm going to click on Balancing, click the little arrow beside Docker image, pick Nginx and the latest version. So we'll do that again. Click Balancing, click the little down arrow, select Nginx. Click the down arrow and select Nginx. Click on balancing, you don't click in balancing. There we go. And I'm just having a tough time spelling version here today. All right. Next thing, click on Application Servers. So that's what we're going to do. And then click on well, you don't click on anything. Then search for Grasshopper. So that's what I'm going to do. gRSShopper. Capitalization doesn't matter. I'll hit enter to search, and there we see Downs Grasshopper. So that's what we're going to select. Downs Grasshopper. So let's do that. And then click on the SQL. Click on the little down arrow and select MariaDB latest image. Click on the down arrow. Select Maria. MariaDB is an open source version of MySQL. It works exactly the same as MySQL, except it's open source, so we like it. There are other choices, right? MySQL CE, I'm not sure what CE stands for, or PostgreSQL, or Percona, or some other Docker image that you may have had in mind. But let's just pick Maria out of the box, because why not? Okay. After you've done all that, click Next. And that will build our cloud environment. Oh, okay. Now, you could mess around with this scaling, how much you're going to reserve, right? So this is 53 cents a day as it stands. Could go as much as $2.12 if I get a really heavy load per day. So that'd be like $60 a month. That's up there. That's getting painful. So maybe I'll drop that a bit. So that I'm not going over it. I'll leave it whatever it was. If it becomes a problem, I'll deal with it. It's probably not going to become a problem. It'll probably stay at 53 cents. Certainly for this website. I could probably scale it down even. Doesn't really matter. This is your variables, volumes, links, and stuff. You could mess around with that. Now, we want to make sure that Nginx has public IPv4. Okay, so make sure Nginx is set to public IPv4. Very important. If that's not set, then you don't have a web address, right? So Nginx must be set to public IPv4. Okay? Grasshopper, access via SLB, service level bus. I assume that's what it stands for. And the same with MySQL. That should be what they are out of the box. But if not, you should set it to that. Again, see, now I have a disk limit here of 50 gig. That's way more than I'm going to need for this. But this is just a demo. I can optimize later if I want. Right? Again, 50 gig. So, all right. So once I've done that, click Create. And now the magic will happen. Click Create. So this is going to take a couple of seconds. And I probably should have taken a picture of the completed environment. Let's go back to see if I can, or if I have to wait for it to do its thing. No, okay, it's busy creating. I can't open it up to look. Or can I? No, I can't. So I'll have to take that image after. And that's an important thing to keep in mind, is that image, you can go back, mess around with it later, no problem. So, we're just going to sit here and wait. See if anyone's watching. Nobody's watching. I don't know why I do these live. But that's fine. Just check, see. No, not yet. When this is set up, I'm going to get some email. And the email is going to tell me what I got in terms of my environment. So, and if you're wondering what's happening, it's actually retrieving the image from Docker and installing that. Also installing the load balancer and the application server. So here we go. Here's the load balancer, here's the application server, Grasshopper, and here's the SQL database. Now let's come back to, I'm just going to close this. There we go. And now let's make this picture big so we can see it again. There we go. So that's what it looks like, right? And you know, so let's see. All right, so I'll capture that. And we'll save it as GD2. GD2.jpg. All right, and we'll put that into the documentation. Okay, let's just put it here then. Image, where's, there it is. Upload from computer, GD2, open, make smaller. Huh. Oh, yeah, okay. And it's not numbered. There we go. Okay, so we've created our cloud environment. Now, next. Now, this is the part I haven't quite tested yet. And I think this is the order I should do it in. But we'll see how it goes. So, in my email and also on the screen, let's cancel this. I'll be able to open it in browser. Don't do that yet, right? And I'll be able to see the settings there, and it might actually be here. No, not yet. Okay. So Docker container configuration. We'll just ignore that for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the email that I received. Here's the email I received from Reclaim. See, I got basically 3 of them. New Reclaim Cloud, MariaDB, and Grasshopper. So it's the Reclaim Cloud that I'm interested in. And share access to the environment. I'm looking for the thing that says what the IP address is. See, I have an internal IP. I should be getting something for the load balancer, I think. Where is it? That's not it. I shouldn't read my email while I'm doing a live video. Don't do that, Stephen. It's just, this is all garbage. Garbage, I say. Garbage. Alright. But where is my email from Reclaim about Nginx? Is it in spam? should have an email. Let's check. I use Gmail, so there's an all mail. It might be in. Nope. It does say there is one new. No, that's not. Okay, let's check spam. No, definitely got garbage, but I don't see the email. Huh. Well, that's odd. Normally I would expect there to be an email telling me what the IP address is for this. So now I've got a problem. How do I determine the IP address? I wonder what happened to that email. Huh. It really should be in this email here, right? Wouldn't you think? So his creator is now ready. Yes, I know that, but that doesn't help me a bit. I need the IP address. Okay, there's got to be a way. Gotta be a way. Let's go back to the topology. Come here. Public IPv4. IPv4. Variables. No, that's not the IP address. That's something different. Links, volumes, ports, CMD entry point. No. Well, last time I got an email and I had no problem. I just zipped right through this step. This time, I don't have it. Does not exist. No SLB access. Maybe I've set this up wrong. Let's go here. Let's see. There. I've applied that. So I've turned both IPv4 and SLB on. So we're applying that. Okay. Let's check the environmental settings. No, these are. That's not the settings. That's. See, the environmental settings are. It's a whole bunch of variables associated with your resource. This isn't it. So that's kind of badly named. But let's see, settings, no. Config. Additionally, variables. See, these are the environmental settings, but of course it's not going to be. Okay, no, nothing. Still nothing. Let's see if I got an email. Still nothing. Well, this is a complete and utter failure. What did I do wrong? It worked yesterday. I don't think I've wiped out my trash. And I'll show you what I got. If I can find it, should be able to find it. 25, eh? Yeah. Reclaim 24. Yeah. Successful installation. No, that's different. Well, how was I getting my IP address? Share access? No. Yeah, these are just help documents. It's not going to be any actual information. It's all old, so it doesn't matter if you see the root, because that environment doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, public IPs attached. See, that's what I was looking for. And there's what I got the other day. So why didn't I get one this time? Open in browser. Okay, see, that works. So it does exist, but what's the IP address? Environment name. Variables. Volumes. Okay, well, I'm not succeeding at all here. Let's try searching. Reclaim cloud. Determine IP address of environment. Okay, that's all just the regular reclaim. Let's not reclaim cloud. Oh, how annoying is that? Okay. Adding a custom domain. Okay. Node ID. Nginx load balancer. Load balancer on. Okay. Maybe I didn't do that. Oops, that's not what I want. Load balancer is on. That is on. Okay. Public IP. Well, this doesn't even look like this. Whoops. Interesting. This looks different from this. But I'm not going to worry about that for now. Okay. Oh, so it's in there. All right, let's find that. Here we are. Oops, let's close this. Cancel. In here, load balancer, LAN, and this must be the IP address. Wow. That is nasty. Let's test that. It works. Okay. Let's put that in my instructions. Okay. Like I said, it's late and I'm tired. Okay. So now we're moving into the next step here, which is to create the A record. All right. Find the IP address of your environment. You should get an email. But if you don't, which I didn't, click the down arrow beside the Nginx. Oops. Load balancer and the down arrow. And then the next down arrow. Oh no, there's just one more down arrow underneath it. Is by the green V4 box. Okay, there's my instruction, and I'll take a little picture just so that we know. Print screen. Okay. I don't know why it showed that garbage can. I don't want that garbage can in my picture. There we go. Let's try that again. All right. Save. Save it as GD3. I like the new Windows 11 save thingy, but there's too many buttons involved in saving it. Like, why do we have these extra steps? I know they want to give me extra functionality, but so, and like for example here I'm going to draw a big arrow. IP. All right. All right, that should make it clear. All right, let's get that in the instructions here. So load an image, upload from computer. All right. Oops. Huh. Wonder why there's a big white area above my picture. Huh, that's weird. Oh well, whatever. I'm not going to mess around. It's just some weirdness produced by Microsoft. All right. So now that I have my IP address, so next is go to Cloudflare or Reclaim Hosting. Go to your zone editor, wherever it is. Okay. Now, I'm going to use fallacies.ca for this. So, I've got my IP address. Here it is. I'm going to copy it. I've copied it to clipboard. Now I'm going to go back into Cpanel. You see we have fallacies.ca. That's the A address that I'm interested in. These other things are useful, but they form no part of what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to go to fallacies.ca. You can see where I tested this the other day. Edit. I'm going to put the new IP address in and save the record. Now, they all tell you that it takes 24 to 48 hours for this to take effect. And that's what used to happen. But these days, it takes effect pretty quickly. And in fact, if I tried fallacies.ca right now, I'd probably go right to that place. But I also have to do another thing. So let's come back here. Now see if I can remember where this is. Not add-ons, not yet. Click on, not stats, click on additionally and variables. No, that's not it. Points, entry points, no, cancel. Maybe it's up here. Settings? Yeah. Okay. So, go to the top level environment, whatever it's called. And in fact, I'm going to rename this right now, fallacies.ca, just so I'll always know. And so go to that top level and then click on settings. Oh, maybe I should undo that. Can I undo that? I forget what it was called. ENV something. It should tell me in my email. I want to undo that to get a proper picture. ENV. All right, so let's go back in here. I'll rename it back to what it was. Okay. And so I want to click on settings. So put screen. All right. Okay. So go to the top. So let's save that to. And again, There. So and we'll save that as GD4. Okay, so actually we're doing this. Oh, I should have put a picture in there. Okay. And so, yeah, I've lost track of my instructions here. Okay, so let's go back to Cpanel. Edit the A record for your domain. So click Edit the A record for your domain, and then next. Enter the IP address. So we'll save this. Cancel. It's weird that it says record there instead of IP address, isn't it? So I'll have to put another big arrow. Print screen. Here we go. Zone editor. All right, and there. So that's what, GD5. Enter the IP address and save record. And save record. If you don't already have one, for this domain, click New. Is it really click New? No, it isn't. It's click Add Record. And fill in all the values. And now we'll put in our image here, and they'll see exactly what I mean by that. So we had somebody peek in for, looks like, a few seconds, and then leave. So more riveting video by me. Okay, let's get this image in here. And again, I'll do the much shorter and sharper version of this once I know that this all works. But okay, GD5, open, there it is. Okay. So, okay, go back to the reclaim cloud environment editor, click on, go find the top level of your new environment and click on, I think it was options, wasn't it? Options, settings, settings. And again, we need a picture here because settings, and maybe I better be clear here. You have to hover over the ENV whatever ENV 08732447. Name to see the icons. Then click on the gear icon. I hate that you have to hover over these things to see this. I mean, that's just so wrong. So anyhow, print screen. Oh no, I already got this. That's odd though. I don't think the little thing showed up. Anyhow, we've got the image. So let's put the image in. Upload from computer. That's this one. Open. Yeah, it didn't say settings. Anyhow. Anyhow, we're going to click on that. So, and then enter your custom external domain. Enter your custom external domain and click bind. And so I'm going to do that. Now the domain I'm binding is fallacies.ca. Alright. It'll complain. It wants a high level domain like fallacies.ca. You can't give it something like ethics.fallacy.ca, and you can't give it your reclaimed cloud URL. It'll reject all those. This has to be a two-part high-level custom external domain like fallacies.ca or myblog.com or whatever. So let's get a picture of this so that people can see what we see here. Okay, we'll save this as, I don't know, GD6. Save. All right. Let's add the image. I'm assuming this is going to work, but I know this part will work. Okay. Click bind. We are binding your domain now. This may take several minutes to complete. So, while I'm doing that, I'm going to remove some old domains that I'm not using. I'm not using this new test anymore, so I'm going to delete that. And you have to type in your password to delete it. And I'm going to delete this old environment. Let's make super sure that this is the environment I'm working with. ENV087. ENV087. So this is the one I'm not using. I'm going to delete this. And the reason why I'm doing this is I want to prevent accidentally thinking I got it right. Right? So I only have 3 environments running. I have Ghost running, which shows up as Ghost. See, here it is. It's kind of crappy as well. Right? So down's Ghost, right? In Leftish Media, I have leftish media running. And I thought I had a security certificate on that. Apparently I don't. Isn't that interesting? So this might not work. But anyhow. But the main thing here is if I test this, if I get any result, it's going to be the result of this and not one of my earlier environments that I just set up for testing purposes. So that just prevents me from thinking I'm in one place when I'm actually in another. Okay, so that thing should have taken hold by now. Let's just check and see if I see fallacies.ca. And there it is. All right. So this is my fallacies.ca site. I'm correctly addressing it. This isn't old. It's not some other environment. Right? I just reloaded it. Same thing. What you notice here is it's not secure. So that's the part I need to fix next. So let's go back to Reclaim Cloud and go back. We're going to go to the load balancer and click add-ons. And again, you have to hover over the word load balancer to get these things, right? So let's give it a big arrow here. All right. So that's GD7. Save. All right, so let's put that into the instructions. Right, so we're on a new step, right? So, and then in fact, I'll actually have us test it. Test the domain name, e.g. fallacies, by typing it into a browser. You should see the Grasshopper server test screen. All right, 4. Set up. Let's encrypt certificate. Plural certificates. So, so we go to, where did we go to? Load balancer add-ons. Go to load balancer add-ons. And let's put the picture in. Upload. Like that. Okay. Load balancer add-ons. We're going to click that. And find the box. Let's encrypt free SSL and install. Okay, so we'll save that as GD something. GD8. Here, so find the let's how's that spelled exactly? Let's encrypt free SSL. And click install. I might add, this is a hugely important, really good service that is offered here. Before then, if you wanted to have a secure website, you had to pay for it. And most of the web would not work unless you had most browsers required secure websites, defaulted to them. So really, if you wanted to have a website, you would have to pay for it, which was really a disincentive, eh? So, find this again. But now we have this free service so that everybody can put free SSL on their website. Let's make this smaller because it doesn't need to be big. All right. Let's click install. This is going to take a few minutes now to work. Oh, right. We have to type the... So it says leave blank to get a test certificate. This actually works. This is what I tested yesterday. I just left this blank and I created a test certificate. But now I'm going to type in my domain. There's the environment name, there's the node, and all I need to do is click install. First I'm going to click capture screen. So type in the name of your domain, gRSShopper.ca, and click, I think it was install. And we'll just upload the picture here because a picture is worth more than 1,000 words, because how much would it take to describe? Well, that's the old one. Oh, no. Did I somehow mess up? I must have messed up this. Let's try that again. Print screen. See. And now this should just take me right into the place where I can save it. But no, it pops this little window up here. I have to click on that. And now I have to click on save it. And then it'll be gd9.jpg. Save. All right, and now I'll click install. And it's going to do its thing. This will take a few minutes. So, what's happening here? Your load balancer, Nginx, or the environment is setting up your load balancer so that it actually has two separate servers. And in fact, first of all, it's going to create a temporary server answering on port 80. Let's Encrypt will send the challenge to that server and it'll respond to that challenge. And then Let's Encrypt says, okay, now I can generate these certificates. And then Nginx will then set itself up so that if it gets a request on port 80 to a specific address known as .well-known address, then it'll respond with the certificate information. It'll respond to a challenge. And on port 443, it will actually send the secure website. So this is why this can be a real problem. And I tried to set this up all to happen inside the Docker container. You can't do it in, well, okay. You can kind of do it inside the Docker container. In theory, there are ways. The normal way is to use an application called certbot. Certbot, however, requires an application called Snap to be installed, but you can't install Snap and into the container. Won't work. There's a back and forth that has to happen, and that back and forth fails before, if your container hasn't been set up already. So long story short, you can't put certbot into the container, and you need certbot in order to do this extra server business to work with Let's Encrypt. I did find a Perl module, simply called LE. I think it was like net.le or something like that. Didn't test it. I thought, do I really want to go down that road? And I thought, no, I don't. What I want to do is make use of existing technology, a load balancer that already works as a load balancer, a certificate system that already works as a certificate system, and go down that route instead of trying to build all of this technology for myself from scratch. Do I think I could have built it all from scratch? Yeah, I do. Because somebody built this in Gelastic. There is the technology available, but I didn't want to. So that's the story here, and that's why I'm doing it this way. I did have Grasshopper set up so that it would run under SSL. The server was all set, but I couldn't get the certificate to run on the Grasshopper server. And then I thought, well, yeah, I don't really need to do that. So Grasshopper will run all by itself if you want it to. It'll run under HTTPS all by itself, but then you get this, unsecured domain error. But that's okay. If you want to run it securely on your own desktop, for example, and that's what I'm doing here, right? Here I'm running it on my own desktop in Docker for Windows. There it is. So this is Grasshopper, and then I have this is Grasshopper, and this is the database. I don't have a load balancer running. I just have Grasshopper running directly on port 443, which is the secure port, and I just access it locally as localhost, and it sent that error, but it only does that once, and now I trust the domain. And so localhost, I can work with Grasshopper. And what's nice is I have it localhost, and I've used the Docker file, or the Docker Compose more accurately. I have several set up, and I have one Docker Compose with local volume. And I use that here. It's not the most stable thing in the world. The local volume, the way Windows runs Docker is on Windows subsystem for Linux. And every time I start up Docker, it gives me a warning saying, hey, careful here. This might not be the most stable thing in the world. That's fine. It doesn't have to be, because I'm not using it for production. What I am doing, though, is I write my code right here in Visual Studio Pro. I can test it immediately on the version of Grasshopper running on my desktop, and I'm also set up so that I can upload it to GitHub right from here. And so the way I've worked it now is I make a change here, I upload it to GitHub, and I've set up GitHub and Docker Cloud so that if I upload it to GitHub, Docker Cloud will take that upload. It takes just a few seconds. It's really fast, and it'll rebuild the Grasshopper image, and that Grasshopper image is the image that we're using here on Reclaim Hosting. So If you do it this way, the way I've just described, you're always getting the most up-to-date version of Grasshopper. And one of the things I needed to do, and I did this a few days ago, is I set it up so that inside, you know, because like once you get the latest version, then that's the version you have. So I set it up inside Grasshopper so that you can update your version of Grasshopper, even if it's sitting in a cloud container, directly from GitHub. So you can always get the latest version of the Grasshopper code if you want. And it'll back up the old version of the code as well, just in case. Okay, Let's Encrypt Free SSL has been successfully installed. So, great. And now we have, well, that's it. Close. So, how to work with Let's Encrypt add-on. So let's click on that, see what we get. And okay. What should happen now, because I don't think there are any more steps, what should happen is if I type in https fallacies.ca, we should get our website. And we got our website. And it works. All right. So, I have a secure version of Grasshopper running in the cloud. Boy, I didn't think I was going to get here. All right. Okay. So now we want Grasshopper to work. So, let's come back to our instructions. So this will take a few minutes. Once you get the notice saying it is confirmed, go to your HTTPS website, e.g. HTTPS fallacies.ca. Now, when you're reading this later, there we go. Okay, when you're reading this later, you're not going to see what we're going to see now because I will have updated the website. But this is the install part, okay? So, next step, set up Grasshopper. Really simple. Are you ready for this? I'm really proud of this. Click on Server Test. Okay, so let's actually... Alright. Select here to mark up and share the image. Give it a big arrow again. Save this. GD10. All right. Click on Server Test. Let's put that into here. The image. It's getting almost repetitive, isn't it? Okay. Guess I could have made that narrower. Let's make it at least smaller. Okay. Click on Server Test. All right. So let's do that. Okay. Now it's going to check. It's going to do a web server environment test, hence the name Server Test. And all of these things should say okay. I'd be very surprised if they didn't, because you're getting the package from me, right? This is going to tell you, this is where it's testing your database. It's not going to find this database. Why? Because the database is brand new. In my prepackaged 1-line, or actually it's 4-line, install it yourself version of Grasshopper, it came with Grasshopper plus the database all bundled together. And so it would just test that, say, oh yeah, everything's here, and move on. But here, we need to create a new Grasshopper database, and that's what we're going to do. So, all right, so we need some information. The first piece of information that we need is, oh, I don't know if I want to show you this. All right, so here, see, remember this, MariaDB node added to your reclaim environment. You need to go to that, and it has the host, login, and password for your database. Now let's see if this is going to be gilled or not. Yeah, it is. Now it's probably, I don't know if it'll show it. Oh well, if it shows it, I'll just have to, I don't know what I'll do. I'll probably just have to rebuild the server. Okay, so so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of my email so that you can see, but I'm going to obscure the password. So let me do that. So here we go. Oh, hang on. Yeah, that's what I thought would happen. Let's just show me as I do this, so there's no real danger. There we go. Now you can't see what's happening. All right. Okay, so let's go to my email, print the screen. Okay, I hope there's nothing bad on this. Select here to mark up and share the image. So, oops, that's not what I want. Is there a way to, what I'd like is a little, way of, eraser, no, that won't. Freeform line. See, this snipping tool doesn't allow me to gray out stuff, so yeah, it looks like everything's fine. I don't seem to have anything weird. So let's just block out my passwords here. And I'll block out my password here. All right. So, okay. So there's what my email looks like. Right, and you see there's the Maria node DB that was added to your da-da-da-da, and if you have to scroll down a bit, and there's the email with your login details and password. So let's save this, and I'll call that GD11. Save. Okay, so we don't need that anymore. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these values. So we know that the database root name is root. And here's the password. All right. And the host. Now, you wouldn't think this works, but this actually does work. So there's the host that was specified in the email address. Now, your website home URL, put in the address that you created before. It's not strictly necessary if you're running only one domain on your website, but Grasshopper actually supports multiple domains on the website, and it sorts them out by what domain you requested when you accessed the website. And so you need to put this in so that it knows how to do that. The database name is Grasshopper, and just you can set a database username and a database password, or you can go with the default. Totally up to you. Doesn't matter. It's just whatever you set this password to be, remember it. In theory, you shouldn't ever need it. In practice, you might. If, for example, you want to access your database using phpMyAdmin or some other thing, because phpMyAdmin is also supported on the Maria database, and your email gives you access information for that as well. So once you've done that, and let me take a picture of this. Okay. And let's update our instructions here. Okay, so get the database root user ID and root user ID, password, and host from the email sent by Reclaim. If that email doesn't arrive, I don't know how to help you. So let's hope it arrives. Reclaim Cloud. So, and now insert upload from computer. Here's the email. All right. And now the next step is fill in. Okay, so fill in the values to create database using this information, your domain, e.g. fallacies.ca, and whatever values you want for DB user and DB user password. And I'll put in the image here. Oh, it's vanished. See, and again, it just, you capture it and then it just vanishes. Right, so I have to do this again. So, okay. Save the image. And actually, you can make your database name whatever you want it as well. And indeed, if you have multiple websites running on Grasshopper on your cloud, you will use different database names. Okay, so let's save this as GD12. Okay, here we go. So let's come back to here. Whatever you want for database name, DB user and cloud, password. All right. Let's insert the image, upload from computer again. There it is. Open. In theory, I suppose if you were writing some sort of script to mass produce these, you'd generate these automatically, but I'm not doing that. So, Okay, then click Create Database. And that's what we're going to do. So come over here. Now, just in case, I'm going to take this off screen when I click Database in case it shows me the password. It shouldn't, but this is all in various stages of development, so it might. So let's see. I'm going to click Create Database. And it's doing it in theory. Now what's happening here is that it's retrieving a predefined database file from GitHub, and then it's running a series of SQL commands in order to generate this database. Now I've tested that locally. I haven't tested that here on Reclaim. I suppose I should have before doing this video. But it should work. Just not sure how long it'll take to work. I'm still waiting for it to work. That would be interesting if it didn't work. And I got a 500 server error. Oh, well, that's disappointing. And it's an Nginx server error. Okay. Well, that should have worked. It works beautifully on my computer. So here's what I got. So, but let's see if anything happened anyways. So I'm going to click fallacies.ca. And I'm going to click server test again. Yeah. It did not work. Okay. So, why didn't it work? I don't know why it didn't work. So, what should happen is that it does work. And then you create a new admin user, and then you access your PLE. So like this is failing on the second last step. Seriously, the second last step. And of course it would be the thing that I created, and I don't know why it didn't work. Could have something to do with the Grasshopper itself not having access to the external world. That's possible. I would think that the requests out just automatically go through Nginx, but maybe not. So what I'll have to do, I guess, to avoid that, although that could create other problems in the future, like, you know, how is RSS harvesting going to work? I don't know. Works beautifully on my desktop, but my desktop doesn't work through Nginx. So that's a puzzle that I'll have to work through. That's what this entire thing is, right? You know, one problem, then another problem, then another problem, then another problem. And as Mark Watney in The Martian says, if you eventually solve enough problems, you get to live. Same thing here. So there isn't a, so don't try this at home now, kiddies, because it won't work. To make the actual setup work, I can just include the SQL with the image itself. So that's no problem, and then just load it from the files that are there. But but then I might run into other problems later. So I'll have to look that up and see what the story is there. But here's what should happen. So localhost. So you see, if I run it through server test, right? So it goes all the way through, all right? And in fact, I can do it right here. Create a new database, right? Do all of this. I have different root names and passwords for my local host. And then it gives me a little login screen here. I log in, and then I try my new PLE, and I'm in. Well, I guess I have to log in locally. This better work. There we go. And then I'm in Grasshopper. But you know, but we ran into that snag. So, but the main thing is, except for that snag, I got the whole thing working in the cloud using HTTPS, and it's just a coding issue that I have to figure out. So I'm going to end this video here on this note, this sad note. I'm going to look up and see if there's any indication of what I need to do to give. Well, maybe I can just do it here. Hang on a sec. Let's go to the Grasshopper. Let's go to. Oh no, we'll go to my environment. Here we go. And let's go to Grasshopper. Can I? Oh. No, I can't do. There we go. Let's try that. Will it let me? I don't see. Oh wait, maybe it's down below. There it is. Let's try apply. Loading. I don't know if this will work. Okay. Now let's try going to fallacies.ca just to see. Should still go to Grasshopper. It does. Alright. So let's try putting in these values again. Okay. And we're doing the same thing as we did before. So here's my host location. Here's my root. I'll put in the password later. Here's my URL. Database name, username, etc. I'll just copy the password and put that in here. And let's click on create database. Oh, you're probably still looking at me, aren't you? No, you're not. Good. Connection unsuccessful. Alright, so I was not able to access my database with that connection. No. So that wasn't it. So, yeah, yeah. If we, okay, well, let's come back here. So, putting those both in broke my connection to the database. So let's go back to my environment. Whoops, that's not what I had in mind. Let's go back to my environment configuration, my Grasshopper. Oh, now what? There we go. And so we'll turn that off and apply it. Now with the database will still work, but so I'll have to run some tests. Now, I thought that might work, but it didn't. Oh well. I'll run some tests, figure it out, and then you'll be able to see the full-blown version of it in a much shorter how to do it video, because I won't be documenting it all that on the fly. And I'll know all of this stuff works. I won't spend 20 minutes searching for where my IP address is, etc. So that's it for now. Thanks for being with me for this more than an hour and a half edition of Stephen Follows Instructions, where I was following instructions that I had figured out and was writing on the fly. Still don't know what the issue is. Environmental settings. Alright. Maybe I had to bind it to a domain. I don't know. Anyhow, that's it for now. I'm Stephen Downs. Talk to you later.